On this very special episode of the Josh Zodiac podcast, we will be joined by Sir Benjamin DeLeon and Mr. Scuba Steve as we all talk about Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, and give our spoiler-filled review of the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, this is your spoiler alert. This is the Josh Zodiac podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Josh Zodiac podcast, a podcast about wrestling, pop culture, movies, and whatever the fuck we want to talk about. But today,
more importantly, it is the Recycled Corn podcast, a podcast about nothing and everything. I am here with my co-host, and
Look, man, I'm tired. I don't care which podcast we're doing right now. I don't care if we're doing the Schmodiac or the...
You know what? I'm still pissed off at you because you fucking lied to me and gave me fake-ass spoilers for this fucking movie. I fucking hate you.
Like I was going to ruin the fucking movie for you. You're an idiot for even believing that I would even ruin the movie for you, because when, in the almost 20 years of our friendship, have I ever ruined a movie for you? So you're the dumb shit that has his head so far up his ass that he would think that I, the good, great fucking friend, Lord Scuba Cabra, would ruin a fucking movie for you. So that's your own dumb fault.
I still hate you.
He's got a point,
fine.
though.
You can hate me all you want.
I fucking hate you!
That's fine.
Ah!
Venkman dies.
I hope a ghost fucking boned you in the butt over the weekend.
It was so okay.
I don't believe it.
For those of y'all who don't know what happened, okay, we have a group chat between myself, Lord Scuba Cabra, and the Josh Zodiac, aka Chris.
Wait.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to Somewhat Supernatural's first
wow
Ghostbusters review. Since we're talking about Ghostbusters, I thought, what better way than to do a Somewhat Supernatural episode about Ghostbusters?
And while we're at it, fuck it, let's do Gore and More too.
Fuck it. Let's do it all.
I don't have the authority for that one.
I was like, and 50 states, those goddamn character limitations.
we don't have the rights to those podcasts right now.
No, we don't. Not yet, no.
Oh well, but anyway, back to the story.
This is a joint podcast collaboration between Recycled Corn, the Josh Zodiac podcast, and I guess Somewhat Supernatural.
Yeah. So we played a pretty
turn off your Molly voice.
We put a. Do I have a voice on?
No, because I went
Oh, so yeah, we played a pretty good prank on Chris. We I'm sorry.
It was Ben's idea.
It was my idea.
Yeah, sure it was.
It was my idea. I was all like,
it was his idea.
I was all like, I messaged Scuba. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do this, but I don't know how Chris would do the Josh Zodiac would do.
And I said, do it. And
I was like, I don't want to piss him off. I don't know him that well. Scuba was like, do it.
He goes, no, you do it. I'll take the lead. And so I did, because I was like, bad bitch. Like, I'm not gonna.
So it was.
So these fuckers in our group chat are like, oh yeah, by the way, Beckman dies, and I'm sitting here licking my phone, going, he did not just fucking spoil this fucking movie.
Oh yeah, by the way, there will be spoilers in this podcast review. So if you have not seen Ghostbusters yet, do not listen to it unless you want the movie ruined for you, because we are about to ruin it for you.
Yeah, don't fall for what I fell for, fucking assholes. Waiting the whole fucking movie. I'm like, okay, when? And the credits are rolling, I'm like, he didn't die. What the fuck?
You know what I need you to do? You know what I need you to do, Zodiac?
Go to hell.
First and foremost, go to hell. Secondly, I need you to go to Temu. All right, I need you to go to Temu, and I need you to order the sound foam for your fucking walls because your echo is driving me insane. I feel like I could go record an acoustic album in your apartment right now.
I did.
I didn't know. I didn't know
I
you were
did
sharing
mine.
the studio that Stain fucking recorded their album in. It's fucking amazing.
And the other room I had it in was worse. So
yeah, I mean, you can tell behind me. I did my walls.
You know what can I say? Hey, I mean, he's a noob when it comes to podcasts. So, you know, hey, but he'll learn. He'll learn.
Yeah,
as
he's
we
gonna
did
learn.
I did order that girl from Temu that was at the PLE though, so she should be coming.
No, send it back.
Shots fired.
So anyway,
Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I'm surprised that's not on your car yet.
You know what? The only reason it's not on my car, by the way, I showed a Ghostbusters sticker that I have. Sonia bought it for me for my birthday. Shout out to Sonia. Reason it's not on my car is because I want to get the actual decals full size and put them on my car.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
So
and then the license plate.
Cosplay.
Yes, my car will cosplay as the Ecto, but I looked up the license plate, and the only license plate available in the state of Texas right now is the Ecto 3A.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
I'm looking into it. I'm looking into it and getting me a vanity plate.
Well, to be fair, Ray had a bike that had Ecto like 3 or C or some shit on it, so it can be done.
Which is great because that's straight from the real Ghostbusters, yeah. Except it was a damn helicopter motorcycle thing.
Yeah, the helicopter one was way more badass than
So Ghostbusters starts off very strong. I loved the flashback to this ghost that froze these rich douchebags back in the, what was it supposed to be, like the early 1900s?
1904.
So, we get this really cool opening scene where the Ghostbusters, and it's not even the Ghostbusters, it's these rich assholes sitting around that just freeze up. You don't really know what's going on. It doesn't explain anything, but you see this orb, this brass orb, and you're like, what the hell's going on? So I thought it was a great opening. The only thing I did not like from the opening was that in the original Ghostbusters movies, there's always that open, and then the Ghostbusters theme plays as it's going to whatever the next scene is.
Right.
We didn't get that in this one, and I think they didn't do it in Afterlife either.
No.
And I feel like that's what's lacking in these two films is I need that theme right away. Give it to me right away so I get that nostalgia from watching the movie.
You get that surge right at the beginning. I get that
surge right at the beginning, just like I did watching the original films, So then, how did y'all feel about the opening of the movie?
I liked it. I was like, man, I was like, they're sticking to the heart of what the original movies, like their formula. I thought it was cool because, like I said, they didn't go into the theme, but they went into the opening title sequence and all that. And like I said, to me, it was like okay, I see what they're doing. They're trying to get that old formula going and start off strong. And that was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh wow, they're starting off pretty strong. Not only do we get the scene where these people froze to death, but then automatically goes into a car chase. So I was all like, okay, all right, I dig it so far. Like,
and I think the song would have fit perfectly there because we go right into this car chase where they're already busting. What were they called? The Dragon of Hell's Kitchen or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. And so it would have been perfect because it was a great transition to where we see New York now and we see Phoebe and the Spanglers and what the hell's his name? Paul Rudd's character. Yeah, but what's his character's name?
I don't even know.
Greg, isn't it?
Greg something. It starts with a G.
Greg Giraldo. I don't know.
No.
Greg Giraldo.
Not Greg Giraldo. But and we see that they're busting ghosts and that they're doing what we expected them to do. The only thing I didn't like about that is I needed adult Ghostbusters.
Gruberson.
And like I
that's
get
the
it.
last name.
Gruberson, that's what it is. Gary Gruberson. Um so like I get that they want to pull in a younger audience with having a younger cast when it comes to the kids being kind of the kids are the main focus, let's be honest. Phoebe is the main focus of the new Ghostbusters universe. And I just kids have no business doing this kind of stuff, which is they comes out in the movie that we see the new mayor. We see the new mayor, who is Walter Peck.
Fuck.
I hate
Walter
that
Peck
guy.
is now the fucking mayor of New York City, which I thought was cool because he was with the EPA and now he's fucking dickless mayor.
And somebody shouts it during the movie.
Yeah. But I thought it was cool, but I just feel like, man, they really missed an opportunity to bring in a team that and granted we do get the engineering team of the Ghostbusters, but it wasn't till later. You know what I mean? And I feel that they missed an opportunity to bring in adult Ghostbusters because we know Winston's the one funding all of this. So why, as a businessman, why would he be okay with just letting them set free on New York City with these nuclear reactors basically strapped to their back? I get it. Phoebe's a fucking smart kid. She's Egon's granddaughter. She knows her shit. But there's still the fact that she is a child. Granted, she can't even work. She's not old enough to work. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that they bring up in the movie is that she's only 15. So I know as a father, if this universe was legit, I wouldn't let my 15-year-old. I don't give a shit how smart you are. You want to work on the gear, you want to, tinker with stuff, cool, but you let the adults handle the big shit because you could get hurt. Granted, I feel like they didn't really come across anything that could hurt them, but I mean, after you fucked with Gozer in the first movie and you saw how that could go, I mean, it killed her grandfather. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and so it a ghost in this universe can kill you. So what sense does it make to let a child go and do these things? So that was kind of the thing that irked me with it at first too. And like, I know it made sense in Afterlife because they're just rediscovering this heritage that she had. And I get it. And it was cool then, but to put it back in New York City to where now they're running the business, it just, I don't know, man. It didn't sit well with me.
My thing though is they have all this money being pumped into engineering and making a bigger containment field, which we'll get into later, obviously. But they couldn't upgrade the Ecto-1 in any fucking way.
Well, and that was another issue that I had also was because in Afterlife, Winston's like, oh, what did they do to you? I'm going to take you back and we're going to fix you up. And, and granted, they did some cosmetic work, but it still needed some engine work, which she always does. But then because I watched all the movies before I went to go watch this one, the Ecto-1 wasn't in great condition in part 2. So when did he fall in love with this car that he wanted it? It was basically his baby. You know what I mean? Like, and then they just kind of were like, well, we fixed it up a little bit. And, like Winston's, what is he, a billionaire? He's a global fucking billionaire. So he should have the money to fix up the Ecto-1 to where it needed to be.
Or upgrade to a new car.
Yeah.
Well, what I think is probably happening is exactly what he did with the upgraded containment unit.
Oh yeah.
Is he waited until like he's gonna wait until they're tinkering with the car. That keeps them busy while they're not out catching ghosts, whatever, so they're not getting into any trouble. So it's a distraction. So when that either gets destroyed or taken away or something like that, then he's gonna be like, oh, by the way, guys, here's the upgraded Ecto-1, and they're gonna be like, oh, you couldn't have given us this whole time. And he's gonna be like, hey, I needed something to keep you out of trouble in the meantime, and that did what it was supposed to do. So now that that's gone, of course I'm gonna give you the upgraded shit. But that's what I think what happened there, because I had kind of the same thought is like, well, why isn't he doing this? Why isn't more things better, you know? And then he was, you know, like I said, holding out on him. I guess that's the term.
Well,
And
it's kind of like the Tony Stark thing from Spider-Man. You know, without
yes, exactly.
you have to prove that you can have it. If you have to have it, you don't need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. It's like
And like you said, they weren't really tackling anything world shattering up until this moment. So why did they need anything more than what they already had?
Yeah, but it could happen at any point. Just, I mean, and Winston should have known that because they weren't tackling anything earth shattering between Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2, but then Vigo came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And granted, it wasn't a worldwide thing, it was just New York City, but still, you never know. And Winston knew that. He's known that because of the fact of what they went through between Gozer and, you know, Vigo,
Right.
and then back to Gozer again, which I'm really glad. Here's what I didn't understand. How were those Stay Puft marshmallows, mini marshmallows, still around if they were a manifestation of Gozer and Gozer's gone?
because they're cute and
Marketing.
They're the fucking poor from fucking Last Jedi.
It's like a yogurt said, merchandising.
No, and that's and that was another issue that I had is how were they still around when they were just a manifestation of Gozer? That means that Gozer is not completely gone. Gozer is still potentially a threat. I get their little cute little marshmallows and marketing is great, but it didn't make any sense. It made absolutely zero sense that they were still there pestering.
Wouldn't it? Okay, do you remember the episode of the Real Ghostbusters where a ghost gets into this steel, like this melted steel smelter, and those steel, all that melted steel goes out and to be made into like buildings and roller coasters and all that shit. Okay, and remember like that the only way for the ghost to be able to become whole and to come to, you know, to get taken out of the steel, whatever, is to bring it all together and you know, melt it down again so the ghost could get out. But it needed to be whole in order for that to happen. What if the new Stay Puft, whatever, like those little ones, are all just like you know, pieces of the big one, and the only way to get rid of them is like they have to be brought back together to form.
Well, yeah, but they were all in the car with Podcast at the end. Well, no, because they were still in the Walmart too, and we never saw what happened to the ones that were in the Walmart. But I just assumed that the ones that were in the Walmart were the ones that attacked Podcast at the end of Afterlife, and then we see him covered in marshmallow fluff. So I'm just saying that if it was a true manifestation of Gozer, it should not have stuck around.
Yeah,
agreed.
That and they're so freaking sadomasochistic, whatever. Like they like the pain.
Yeah,
and
that shit's great though. They're fucking fun. Like and don't get me wrong, I laughed my ass off through the entire movie. I did laugh my ass off. It was funny. Paul Rudd was fucking hilarious in it. Yeah. It had his comical moments, which I love. Yeah, Charlie, you tell him. You know, can never do a podcast without the princess in the background. But it had its ups, it's had its downs. I feel like Kumali Nanjiani,
sure,
his character, I don't know how I feel about his character, but let me tell you why. I didn't know how to feel about his character, and I still don't, because I feel like the movie should have ended on a down note. I think was it Garaka? Was that the name?
Yeah.
I think Garaka should have won at the end of the movie, and it should have ended on a dark note, on a dark tone, and the next movie would have been figuring out how to stop Garaka after Garaka's taken over majority of the world. You introduce Ghostbusters International.
Ooh.
You get to see that Winston wasn't only working there in New York on other shit. He already owns a global company, So it would make sense. Hey, let me branch out and start putting Ghostbuster, underground franchises in other cities because there's ghosts everywhere worldwide, and you don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen or where it's going to happen. Yeah. So I think that the fact that they rushed his power into him becoming this awesome fucking fire master, it felt super rushed. It felt like he couldn't even move the flame from the lighter to the damn candle, but all of a sudden he's fucking moving proton streams and fucking throwing fireballs and keep it. And I get, okay, he's a natural, whatever, you explain it that way, but it felt, that part to me felt super rushed. And like I said, I wish this movie would have ended on a down note to give us more for the next one if we get another one, because the way this one ended, yeah, every ghost is out of the containment unit, but there's still, it could still just end and that could be it. That could be all we get.
Well, I think, because I kind of thought the same thing you did. Well, not as intricately as you did, but I thought what they should have done at the beginning was have, Graka start off sooner in the film. Like, and he's already conquered most of everything, and then they have to team up to, rebel against him, to fight against him, and figure out stuff and clues about how to defeat him and all that crap. Kind of what they did, but just earlier in the movie, to where there was some kind of character development from the beginning of the movie. And sure, it would have gone faster than what it did, but at least they would have had a little bit more time to play out that, rather than just, like you said, it was kind of a was it Deus Ex Machina, whatever? Just,
yeah,
here's the guy who can bend fire. Can, like you said, he can't really do it when he wants to, but under pressure, like, he can stop a proton stream too. Like, that was, or redirect it, whatever. I mean, that was kind of like, all right, like, oh, come on, like. It was just,
and then how Phoebe figured out, oh, if I dip this in
the
copper,
metal,
or if I put it in whatever, and it'll coat it with blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's so fucking dumb. Like, that should have been something that was worked out, not just a, well, maybe it'll work. Maybe if I fucking fuck up this fucking cyclotron, it might work, it might not, I don't know. And it's too, it felt like it was and it was produced by two people, but it felt like they were struggling over what they wanted the main story to be. Because the story, first of all, the obvious love story between Phoebe and a ghost, like, there was, that was obviously a love story.
Yeah, it was.
Which I don't think was needed. Of course, you can look at it. Of course, you can look at it as an odd girl needing a friend.
Yeah, I think that's how people are going to try to spin it, because they don't want.
But that was obviously a fucking love story between.
When she went up to her and went, boo. You're like, okay, come on, what was that?
Yeah.
We all know.
They should have allowed her in the containment field, and if they, not for Phoebe, all this shit wouldn't have happened anyway.
Well, and then at that, here's another thing that irked me. Why the fuck was Lucky there? The chick from
the first one, or Afterlife.
From Afterlife. You've never left your hometown, but all of a sudden now you're a fucking intern at
Ghostbusters HQ.
But what did you do before? You were a fucking waitress. It's only been a couple of years. You don't have a degree, or maybe she went to a university or some shit.
Well,
but
I was gonna say, she probably, like, they're thinking, like, okay, like, she's already been through it. Not very many people would be able to handle that. She's proven herself, so let's get her in here and get her properly trained, and help her, like, come up with, have her help come up with ideas for the new equipment, because the younger generation, it's always up to them to come up, to innovate, to lead innovation like that.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that Afterlife took place in Oklahoma. I fucking died laughing. When I was like, Oklahoma's like, oh no, that's fucking funny.
Yeah,
You
nothing.
know, and so
Nothing good is in Oklahoma.
nothing.
Exactly.
There's nothing and nobody good in Oklahoma.
Oh, fuck you, motherfucker.
For those of you that don't know, the Josh Zodiac is in Oklahoma. But
I'm close enough to the border of Texas that it doesn't count.
Right.
so, and as much as I'm shitting on the movie, I absolutely loved it. I did love it. It was like a long episode of the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It just felt like a really long live action version of the real Ghostbusters, except with a new cast. I love that we got the old guys again. There was some foreshadowing that somebody was going to die. Luckily, none of our beloved Ghostbusters died.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah.
He's like, any day now. Or any second now. Any second now.
See that they're way past their prime and they have no business busting ghosts anymore.
I like the handheld or the wrist mounted, whatever.
Oh, dude, the one that Janine had.
Yeah, that was.
And actually seeing Janine suit up in live action, I squealed like a little girl because
that was in the cartoon.
It was in the cartoon. So I was like, yeah, she fucking melted.
Sandra tells me, like, am I going to need to bring some tissues for you? I was like, look, that happened once, okay? Every time I watch the movie, but still, it happened once.
I was about to get pissed off when Phoebe was playing chess and the chess piece started moving. I was about to get livid thinking that they were going to bring back Egon's ghost.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I'm like, there's no point.
Like, there's no point in bringing him back. He got his closure. Yeah, so I was glad. It was a sigh of relief that it wasn't Egon. But I don't know, man. That I really wish that they would have made her more of an evil spirit, especially when we find out that she's working with Garaka. And you know, when she says, "Oh, this is my form," blah blah blah. I died before I could inhale. You know, before my body burned. I still wish that she would have transformed into something scarier in front of Phoebe, but then manifested back down. Yeah, you know what I mean. Once she realized
she was Garaka's Silver Surfer. Period.
Yeah, pretty much.
Period.
Yeah. But there was, like I said, it's a fun movie. It's a fun popcorn flick. The kids and I dressed up to go watch it. It's a Ghostbusters movie. You know, it's a straight up Ghostbusters movie. And I saw the IGN critic review that said, if all you need is proton packs, jumpsuits, and ghosts, then this movie might be for you. That's all I need. That's all I fucking need, you dipshit. Like, have you never seen a Ghostbusters film? That's all we need in the Ghostbusters.
No one ever, no one was harboring any illusions that this movie was going to win an Oscar. Let's be real.
Fuck them, because they gave fucking 2016 Ghostbusters like this rave review about how great it was. Fuck that movie. That movie is trash. I don't give a shit who you are. If you say you like that movie, you're only saying it to be edgy. That movie sucks. It's not funny. It shits on the legacy of the original Ghostbusters and has no place in the Ghostbusters fandom at all.
The only good thing about that movie was fucking Chris Hemsworth, and even that's shaky.
I mean,
he was funny.
See, now here's my issue with 2016. The fact that it is a remake. If it would have been a reboot, I'd have been okay with it. If you would have rebooted the series where these females decided to get in the same business that the original guys were in, because they were fans of the original Ghostbusters, because they idolized the original Ghostbusters and wanted to do the same thing since they were little kids, I would have been okay with that because it's a continuation of the original story. Yeah. The fact that they fucking remade it and just shit on the fucking legacy of the original Ghostbusters and threw in all this fucking man bashing bullshit, it was fucking stupid. I still like this movie. Granted, it is my least favorite of the 4 Ghostbusters movies. Frozen Empire is at the bottom for me. It's still better than 2016.
Well, by far. And it's funny because I saw a thing online that said that in 1984, people could go see Dune and Ghostbusters when they first.
And here we are in 2024, and you can watch Dune and Ghostbusters.
And I sat through both in the same day, and I don't mean to shit on Ghostbusters, but Dune Part 2 was a much better movie.
Well, I never saw the original Dune, and I never saw the remake.
It's the same thing. It's just they actually have it spread out over a couple of movies, not just condensed into one movie.
Well, so. I never saw the original movie, so
I have no basis for comparison.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between Dune and Star Wars, but Dune was written way before Star Wars was. Yeah. So just throwing that out there. Yeah, I didn't mind it. Yeah, that Phoebe girl needs to just fucking not be so fucking curious about dumb shit and separate her spirit from her body, and ends up almost destroying the whole fucking world. So
which should have happened. It should have happened. The world should have been frozen. Yeah. It should have been a bigger fucking threat. It's this entity that was before anything that they fucking knew about. It should have been a global threat, not just a New York threat. And it shouldn't have been so easy to fucking defeat. Yeah. It should have taken time. There should have been more drama related to it. And where was Rick Moranis? I needed Lewis. I needed Lewis.
You don't want to come back.
I know he doesn't want to come back. Mention the name. Throw us, say something about Lewis. Like, come on, man. Like, that is the only missing piece in this new Ghostbusters.
Well, one of two. Sigourney Weaver.
Well, yeah, but she was in Afterlife.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was.
Yeah, she was in Afterlife at the end. And so, her and Peter are together. So, that regardless of what's going on, that at least she exists still in this universe, and what she's doing. She's at home, or she's working, or whatever the hell she's doing. Where the fuck's Lewis? Lewis was such a big, important part of the Ghostbusters in Part 2 that nobody mentions him. How come Winston didn't give him a job? You know what I mean? Like, what? If Winston kept Janine around, why wouldn't he keep Lewis around? There's just little things. And as a Ghostbusters fan, like I said, you can like what you like. You can, whatever your favorite Ghostbusters is, even if it's 2016, I'm nobody to tell you. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm the keymaster. But you do what you want to do. But I just feel like there's things that they could have done to give us a way better movie. And I'm hoping not that there's a director's cut, but that we get deleted scenes, because there was a lot of scenes from the trailers that weren't even in the movie.
Yeah, I was waiting for that part where Lucky is getting frozen, and you could see the ice starting to form in her tear ducts and all that. And
yeah,
that was in the trailer.
Kind of a quick cutaway.
Yeah, I was in the trailer, and I was all like, wait a minute, what happened to
Well, and then at that, how the fuck did she survive that when everybody else that was frozen at the beginning fucking died?
Because she wasn't frozen all the way through. She just got, case of frostbite, basically.
They defrosted her in the microwave.
Should have died.
No, the part for the trailer that wasn't there was the part where my friends told me that Beckman fucking died, and I was so upset that it wasn't in there. Fucking dicks. I will say the throwback to the first one that I loved is when they went to the library. They had the same actor from the first movie was the library director, and then that fucking ghost was there.
We see the gray lady again.
Like, get her! And she's just like, oh, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, but we saw the gray lady again, which is really cool.
They did have a missed opportunity though when the teenage boy found Slimer in the basement. Mm-hmm. Instead of just saying, "Yeah,"
he should have said, "He slimed me."
Yeah, he slimed me. Yeah, he should have missed opportunity.
Yeah,
big time.
Well, and I love the fact that we see the gray lady, because that's the first ghost that we're ever introduced to in the Ghostbusters universe, and there was always the question: did they ever go back to capture her?
If they consider the video game canon, then yes, they did.
Well, in the video game, yes, but this just proves that the video game is no longer canon.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I love the fact that now we know they never went back to get her.
But I like the whole, the bad guy's coming. He went to go get his horn so he could be full power. And then they got to prepare, like, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that. Like, let's get ready. Like, remember, I tell you guys all the time how I have these, like, fucked up dreams and, like, something's coming and I got to prepare for it, but I'm never like actually prepared. That's what it seemed like, what was going on. And then the freaking um, the little possessor ghost, whatever, comes on the little tricycle, and it just rolls up like freaking Saw, and you just hear, and then it hits the door, and then all of a sudden it starts going up, and all the dude, like I was like that little possessor ghost. That's gonna be like one of those reoccurring things in the series is that thing causing havoc for them because excuse me, man, I don't know why I have hiccups all of a sudden. But I think that's going to be one of those things, like I said, where it's a reoccurring character that they're always having trouble with.
Well, see, and the ghosts were only working with Garaka because it had some kind of mind control on the ghost. So the possessor, he was a friendly ghost. He was just mischievous because even before Garaka showed up, they had him trapped in there and they were talking to him and they would go play with him and stuff. And so he wasn't a evil entity. He was just a little trickster,
Yeah.
and
Well,
he liked having fun and messing with them. And so I feel like that entity is gonna be the new Slimer.
yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like the way Slimer was. Like I think in
Yeah.
Afterlife, that metal eating one, whatever, was supposed to be like the new Slimer, but it just didn't take off. So they're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, in this one we're gonna bring back the original Slimer, but we're also gonna introduce this new character.
And granted, they never showed what the possessor's form really is.
Yeah,
They
it's just a
you just
little
saw this
red
little
dot.
red. Yeah, so it can be revealed that it looks like anything, honestly, in the next flick if they ever do it. Um, but all in all, I liked the movie. It was fun. It had, its hits of nostalgia, and it did bring the universe a little bit bigger in the Ghostbusters world. I love the fact that they actually acknowledged the Ghostbusters cartoon in the commercial when they showed the
Yeah.
proton packs and stuff. That was from the real Ghostbusters. Um, I
And
love
yeah,
the
the
fact
kids in
that
the
they
commercial. Yeah.
I love the fact that they actually acknowledged Ghostbusters 2 with the Statue of Liberty
Yeah.
fiasco.
Yeah.
Like, because there was a lot of people questioning, well, is Ghostbusters 2 even canon anymore? Because there's no mention of anything. But now we know it's canon because you saw the pink slime.
Yeah.
You heard them call it
Yeah.
mood slime. You saw, you saw that the Statue of Liberty was mentioned. And I love that. I love that everything is tying in now from the old to bring into the next generation of ghost busting. And I just wish it was a little bit tighter, and I hope that with the next one they see where they messed up and they give us a little bit more.
If you paid attention in I guess the institute where they're testing all this new shit, you see one of the interns,
Oh, spraying the guy in the back.
hosing a dude down with the pink slime, and that's a great fucking callback right
Yeah,
there.
I laughed my ass off at that. I was like,
Yeah.
she's fucking hosing him down with
Yeah,
slime.
that's what I said in Sandra. I was like, pay attention to what's going on in the background. But I was trying not, to be stealthy, whatever, because we were at Alamo, and they take
Yeah,
their,
they don't let you talk.
yeah. So I was all like, trying to.
Yeah, no, it was we had fun. We had fun watching it, and then of course we were dressed up, so everybody wanted to take pictures with us and stuff. So it was fun. It
Yeah,
was
it's
it
cool.
was a good time.
It's cool that you went with Sam and Damien.
Damien. Yeah, well, Mel was supposed to go with me. It was gonna be me, Mel, and Damien, but the last minute she's like, "Hey, all your kids are home. Like, do you want I want to watch the movie with you, but do you want to go
With them.
with the kids?" And I was like, "I'll ask Sam, but if she doesn't want to dress up, because Sam's not like that. Sam's not one to go and dress up because she gets too embarrassed." But I was like, "Hey, do you want to go watch Ghostbusters?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "But you have to dress up." She's like, "Fuck yeah." So I was like, "Okay."
All right.
So what?
All right.
So I was like, "Well, you got to wear Mel's flight suit, and her suit says Samimi on it because that's her maiden name." So all I did was I got a piece of black duct tape
Yeah.
and I covered up the last MI, so her flight suit said Sammy.
Seeing this movie actually has inspired me to make my own Ghostbusters jumpsuit. I'm gonna do it.
You gotta find that's gonna be a big ass.
That's a big ass fucking flight
That's a
suit.
big ass
Yeah.
fucking flight
And-
suit.
and
The
how-
Roscoe,
Mhm.
I was
the
saying, how
Roscoe
are you gonna
flight
feel
suits
that
on Amazon.
the name
What's
tag
up?
that says the Josh Zodiac on it? Like,
Oh no, it'll have my real last name on it. I'm not stupid.
You can get the Rothko flight suits on Amazon. They usually run anywhere between I think $60 to $80, and
Mhm.
then you can get the name tag or the name patch on Amazon as well. I think it's like $12 to $15, depending on if you want an iron-on or a sew, and you can customize it how you want. And then, of course, you can get the ghost patch on there as well.
Yeah. My big thing from the movie too was those horns. If they were so important, they should have been stored in 2 different places.
Yeah,
true.
I'm just saying, if he has one, he's not as powerful as with both. But maybe I'm nitpicking. But I liked it. I give it, I don't know, out of 10 stars, I give it.
No. We are doing
Ghostbusters.
Ghosts.
Oh,
No. We're doing Slimers. How many Slimers do you give it out of 5?
Out of 5. Okay. 3.5. 3.5 Slimers.
I was about to say
Slimers.
I was about to say 3.5 also.
3.5. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because, like I said, while there were some things I didn't enjoy. I did enjoy being back in the Ghostbusters universe. I did enjoy seeing the guys suit up again. I laughed my ass off, and I can get past all the woke bullshit because, I mean, that's just the world we live in. So Ghostbusters gets a 3.8 out of 5 Slimers.
Not horrible.
We should have done mini Marshmallow Men.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
I mean, they could have totally added another half an hour to that movie for them to figure out how to beat him. Another half an hour would have been perfect.
And I would do a fucking time jump where it's like 2 months later.
Right. I don't know, and I was expecting more, like an after credit scene, or they did give us a mid credit, but
there was no after credit.
I was expecting something, But.
Mm-hmm. Nothing. It's not a Marvel movie.
True that.
But still.
Well, I guess we're going to end it there since we're not really. We already gave it the review. So, Scuba, do you want to promote your podcast?
First of all, I'm going last. You do your podcast and your socials. You got to open it. I'm closing it.
He's got a point, dude.
You can shove that finger right up your poo-poo.
Oh, I will later. Thank you. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, I farted. All right, fine. You can find me on my socials at Facebook. Just look for The Just Zodiac. And if you add me on there, let me know you heard me on the Recycled Corn or on the Just Zodiac podcast. Otherwise, you will not be added. If you want to find the Just Zodiac podcast, you can find me in Spotify for podcasts or Spotify and YouTube at the Just Zodiac podcast. And if you want to email the show, you can email the Just Zodiac podcast at gmail.com. Ben?
Just Google Recycled Corn and follow us there. I'm not going to go through all that.
Wow.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host with the Ghost Prince of the Paranormal, the Duke of the Dead, the Dean of the Deceased, the Ghost Daddy, Lord Scuba Copper, saying, join me next time on Somewhat Supernatural. Well, I'll be actually talking about ghost stuff. Stay spooky, my friends.